Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus, one more time, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. Take a look at me. For many of you, I represent that which you love. For many of you, I represent that which you despise. And it is my business to be me, so that you can see just what your effect is when it comes down to me. So that you might see even further that it is you and not me. What am I saying to you, ladies and gentlemen? Out of all the things and out of all the times that we've experienced the various kinds of things, we still hang on to certain things regardless of how the effects might change about from one time to another. Some not so bad, while others might be devastating. And yet we still cling, never willing to turn loose, never considering the possibilities of something that's so much better. I stand before you as a black man who has no money, a black man who has suffered with the absence of no money. That can be devastating. I mean, devastating. And there are so many who have suffered so much more than I have. And yet I know that none of us should be suffering. And I know why we are. And my mission is to change it. Now, you have decided amongst yourselves that it is a white man who got gold toilets, who got gold fixtures all over his place with the greatest, most expensive paintings, living in luxury, traveling around not only now in his plane, now he's traveling in your plane. The President of the United States. That's your choice. And what is he doing? He says that he's the greatest everything. No president before has been this great. Couldn't even imagine, couldn't handle business. And he stands before you and say one thing and switch it and denies and flips and scripts. And while you thought at one time he was despicable, now it seems as if you love him. The more lies he tells, the more he has over you to hold you in line, the more you choke and you move further and further away from the truth. You keep going. So look at me again. I don't look anything like that. Well, I guess I could look a little bit like him. We are both in our, well, we're over the hill. Well, at least I am. He probably isn't. And being over the hill, I know where I come. Yes, I do. And I know what, ladies and gentlemen, I'm down here with you. No, but it is I, this black man, this poor man, that's going to deliver you from the bondage. I'm going to deliver you from the bondage because I do not represent myself. I represent a power that not only can you see, I can't see. Not only can't you touch, I can't touch. Not only can't you feel, I can't feel. Yet the evidence of all that power is about is around us. And the fact that I'm here speaking to you right now about the things that I'm speaking to you about is evidence that you matter. And you know that the things I'm telling you are true. And you know, as I tell you, that you play a major part in God's way as you do your way, or man's way, or another's way, which gives you all of this confusion that is going on in the world. You got to live because you are living, and you surely are going to die. But how you live, my friends, how you live. How many of you have been living since Dr. King's death? But you know that Dr. King will be remembered forever. But will you? And if you won't, why not? Why haven't you claimed the fact that you are somebody? You play a major role in whether human beings on this planet can live as though they are in heaven, or you play a major role that they live in the abstract, that they live in pure hell. There is no in between. It's heaven or hell. And you know, only a few people claim to be living in heaven. And even they don't really call it heaven until they just compare it with where you are at, not where they want to be. That's why they keep choking you even more, thinking that will work. But it won't work for them, just as it won't work for you. Which means this, ladies and gentlemen. Here's it, straight from the horse's mouth. In God's world, peace and prosperity and joy in life and the fulfillment of dreams are based on the fact that you, first of all, recognize that all things belong to some power other than you. When I say you, I'm talking about flesh. When I say you, I'm talking about human beings. So that's a given. That's a given. Now, all things that come about by your hands are of you, using material that were given. Your talents, each of you committed yourselves, having the choice to do it your way, and did it. That's yours. Where did money come in at? Money came in to take your mind off that God that allows you to be free, and to put you in bondage, the bondage of chasing after money, the bondage of after being controlled by whoever is manipulating the money, whether it's in taxes, whether it's in inflation, deflation, whether it's in fees, whatever it takes to manipulate money in such a way that you are controlled, that you are abused, and somebody else is smiling great. And you are so into the money because now, in order for you to have health care, education, a place to live, and food, transportation, you got to have that money. Your faith is not just in being happy doing what you do, which open the door for you to have access to everything. Now you got to do what it takes to get that money, because you can only get as much money as they're giving for what they want done. So that's controlling and manipulating your mind, manipulating your attitude toward life. You ain't focusing on nothing but a brand new God called money. But even that money is not the God. The money is the bait used by those who are manipulating the deception. But we're all on that path. And so this is brand new. What I'm telling you, I don't know of a preacher telling you that. I know of mega churches, and they weigh them based upon the amount of money they got coming in, and the congregation, and the donations, and the books, and the airtime. But I don't hear anybody telling you nothing like what I'm telling you. If it were, my God, you could bet your last money I'd be over there working with them. But no, it seems like I'm the only one. I ain't gonna believe that, but it seems like it. And we so far apart till we can't even touch through the people. But I'm hoping that the two of you who are listening today, that this will mean something. I'm hoping that it will mean something based upon where your own heart is at today. Now, I don't want you to think that if you started thinking about God, that it's not going to conflict with the way the world is. Now, you might not see it today, but looking and turning to God's way, that means wanting to know the truth. That means leaning and hoping to find a way that leads you and your even mental transportation down a path where things work out for everybody. Searching in your own spirit. Wake God up down there. Wake him up. Been with you all the time. Just wake him up. And the Spirit will guide you. And now, you're not an enemy of America. You're not an enemy of the system. You're not an enemy of the government. You're his big brother. You're his big sister. You're the one who went out into the world and found out what was going on and learned the truth. Not saying that those in the world didn't know the truth all the time, but they were absent what was necessary and required to come back and show the people freedom, to show the people liberation, to show the people love. They couldn't do that. They took what they knew and took advantage of the people. It's like somebody telling you that they want to be your president and they're going to do so much for you. Two people. And one you laugh at because he ain't got nothing. And you embrace the one who got everything. Not recognizing or even thinking about how he got it. You already know he stole it. But now you think he's going to steal for you. Y'all know that's what business is all about. Business is about getting more than you give. That's what business is all about. And when you start talking about insurance and all these other fees and stuff that an employer got to pay these folks, boy, their services is really ripping off some people, ripping off everybody. I mean, really ripping it off. You think you're not just paying for what you're getting, you're paying for all that stuff. All that cost, you're paying for that in a hamburger. When you could be getting that hamburger free by people who just love to make hamburgers, and they really, really, really can make some good hamburgers. And they got all kind of reasons, not just that they're the greatest hamburger makers that there is, but they got a nice home to live in. They got the transportation they desire. They don't have to worry about education for themselves or their children. They don't have to worry about health care. They don't have to worry about anything, because God fixes their way. Now, I'm talking about God's way now. I'm sharing you how good God's way is. And it's just that simple. You're loving people like you want to be loved. And some people say, treat people like you want to be treated. Love people like you want to be loved by people. I say love people like you want to be loved by God. Because God delivers the best. And now God is alive in you. So why would you deliver anything less than the best? Yes, you chose Donald Trump, a rich white man, over Eddie Marcus, penniless, but rich in spirit, black man, who still has not turned his back on you. have not given you up. Somebody said, if somebody keep on following something that keeps failing, say he's stupid, ignorant, and all of those other things that goes along with it. But if your peace and prosperity, happiness and joy is righteousness to me, then as long as I go forward and it is not there and you are being denied it, then nothing I do, no effort I make is useless. Even you turning your back on it. Like putting a horse to the water and can't make him drink. There's no reason to leave him alone if you know he's thirsty. You got to work out something. Because that horse is drop. If you don't drink some water. And you say, well, if he's going to drink that water, I can't think of anything that will make a horse drink water anymore than thirst. And if he's not drinking, he must feel that if he's thirsty, he must not know it. So what you got to do, if you're not going to pop his mouth open and pour the water in it, you got to make him feel that like he's thirsty. Now, what can you do? Think for a minute. Help me out, if you will. What can you do with a horse that's really thirsty, and you can lead him to the water because he couldn't find it? And now he's standing there before that water, but he will not take not one. He won't even take one sip. But if he don't drink this water, it's going to cause some major problems, and you know that. Don't tell me how you know it. No, I don't, but you do. So how do you get the horse to drink this water? It's kind of hard to figure that out, isn't it? And that's how hard it is to figure out how you're going to get people who are living in darkness, who got their faith and trust in darkness, going to walk out of that and come over to something that they're talking about is God. No, to them it sounds better on the other side. They are trusted. They rather trust God after they die. They know what this darkness is all about. So they just gonna hang on to it until they die. Ain't that something? And all the time that they're hanging on to it, they are denying millions and billions of people the right of life. Isn't that a shame? How can you give up? You can't. So what happens? You just keep on glorifying God. God has the answer. God has the answer, and none of us know the way. So all we have to do is to continue, is to be led and lead. And God will lead us out of this. But it must work, because the peace and the prosperity and the joy that we desire, that we live today for, will always be denied as long as our brothers and sisters are victims of deception, victims of a way of life where crime and violence is evidenced every day, where lying and cheating and stealing is benefiting them in this world. That's why they do it. It's an escape from other hellish holes and traps that have been laid for them in this world of darkness. We can't give up. God will not allow us to turn our back on people that are just like we were. We didn't always think like we think. We didn't always act like we act. We do now what we do because the power of God caught us at a moment in time where only then could we actually see and understand the reality of God. And knowing God as we know God, we can never ever stand up like we used to, bending our knee to a power that can't touch God no place. And we know that. And knowing what we know, we must stand for what we know, so that the challenge is you. The challenge is, will you stand? You who know. Many have seen and stuck their heads back in the sand. And they said they had a choice because the ones who kept their heads up usually got it blown off. But you say that the Son of God chose that way because it, according to what you say, God, one with God, has proven that life after death is just a twinkling away. And he was back. Isn't that right? He stood before the people and says, I'm back. Old death is defeated. Old evil one that's deceiving the people is defeated. All you got to do is look at me. What did I stand for? I stand for God. I stand for God. And if it takes me standing for God to be a seed to go into the earth, having gone through what you will go through, but coming back so that you will know that it's worth it. And the fear that they put into you, that dominates you, that's controlling and manipulating you, has no hold on you, because as you see me, you don't have to come back. You don't even want to come back. Why? Because first of all, your mission is complete. And you going on to glory, wherever that might be. Or some might say, you are never no more. And how great can that be? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so very much for giving me this your time. I just wanted to take a moment and reflect on how wonderful things can turn out to be. All of the times that I tried to be your president for the same reasons that I speak to you now, that God wants to love you, and you rejected it and went to the polls and voted for evil, blew my mind. But it didn't really, it was something that I guess you've been doing all the time. But you never had evil put on stage like it was put on stage this time. It was really put on stage. Evil. Excuse me for just saying this. But for those who are listening still, this might be entertainment. Evil on the podium, on a platform. Evil on the platform. One did Republicans. Ooh. They told the world, hey, watch out. Here comes evil. Don't pay this evil any mind. They talked about this evil. And guess what the American people did? The American people were drawn to that evil. I don't care how much those other Republicans, who they're evil too now, don't think they weren't. But they say, here comes the real evil one. We got to expose this evil because this evil is dangerous. And as they exposed that evil one, the American people were drawn. Give us that evil. It's the lesser of the other evil. Now, they didn't say that he was perfect. They just said he was better than the other evil. Now, see, nobody was out there telling them about God. Nobody was talking about God. No preacher was talking about God. No presidential candidate was talking about God in the way that says God loves everybody and will protect everybody, and all the policies that he advocates for will protect everybody. And you knew that he would be doing that because he's been doing it all the time. No, they went after the man who was supposed to be, who they thought was the lesser of the two evils, but they were going to make him grand evil. They were going to make him the most evil man on the face of the earth, because they say America is the greatest nation, so he was going to be the greatest evil man. He was going to put his evil over Russia by becoming the president of the United States, so he had to be the big shot evil person. Now, I'm just telling you some stuff that it seems like it happened. And the people rejected all that these other politicians were saying about their own political representative. Now, the people ignored them and chose that evil to be their representative. And so the people who had spoken against this, they said, well, if this is what our people want, if they want a liar, if they want a no good crook to be their leader, and we out here, we got to feed our families, and we got education stuff to take care of, and we got needs and wants and desires. I guess that just means that times have changed, and so we got to play the game. And so they just start going on down that path with the most evil leader America has ever known in America. Ain't it amazing how that thing works? And so by them doing that, now they're trying to make sure nobody can mess with it again. I say how they mess over you, then they'll pass a law to make what they're messing over you look like it's legitimate. But you can't do it anymore because they got this law to prevent you, but they kept them in control. And so now, what they're going to do with what's going on is legitimize it, just like they get their justices in the courts to legitimize whatever evil stuff they want to do. Now it's more complicated for you who are trying to live Christian lives and advocate for Christendom. When I say Christendom, I'm talking about God's way of life. Now, because darkness has gotten bigger, darkness has spread it. It's like a storm cloud. The tornado coming, woo, all that darkness coming, on you. It's like a storm cloud has invaded it. And now, well, it might be true, but I tell you one thing. I started to say how bright it is and how that brightness can affect the darkness. But as I was thinking that, I also began to think that over those storm clouds, I don't care how dark they can get. I don't care how bright the sun can get above it. It's not going to shine through those dark clouds. It's going to take something else to happen. The sun might affect what happens, but up for a moment there, those dark clouds are going to be there. So what I'm trying to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, is the storms of life are going to be there. But I can say this for sure. Taking God's walk, it might not open the door immediately to health care for everybody, education for everybody, food and clothing and shelter for everybody, transportation for everybody, careers of choice for everybody. That might not happen overnight. Well, in fact, it won't happen overnight. But that's no reason to say, forget it. At one time, we were not as bad as we are today. We got this way by continuing the process. So it'll take a moment in time for people who really need some glasses. I'm not talking about readers. It's going to take some time for them to see. And in the meantime, it will be a struggle to see the benefits of the things that you're struggling for them. But I want you to know, those of you who are still walking in the Spirit's footstep, there's a blessing there that the world is not giving you, and the world can't take it away. It's a joy, it's a peace in doing the will of the Father. And any and everything that the darkness throws at you is nothing but an opportunity for you to feel more glory. I'm telling you, it might seem strange what I'm saying, but it gives you more glory. If they lock you up in prison, you feel so wonderful to be a man standing up for God that's locked up in prison. You might have people in there for lying, for cheating, for stealing, for killing, for doing anything. But you are a man of God locked up in a prison, standing for the rights of human beings to be loved by God and by everyone else who said that they know God. And you are locked up in prison because you're not going to have it any other way. You think you don't feel good? I'm telling you, if you're in there for that reason, you feel great. If you out there grandstanding, trying to front, oh boy, you're going to be walking around there a minute day wishing you can get out. But if you're serious, baby, they couldn't do nothing better for you but make the world right. That's the only thing better is make the world right. You prefer that. But if you can't make the world right, they done lock your butt up in prison because you trying to make the world right. Buddy, that's better than cake and ice cream. So I hope you can get my point. And this, I'm telling you, is true. I'm not telling you something I read. I'm telling you what I know. Until next time, this is Eddie Marcus saying, I didn't mean to talk this long, but it got good to me, and I hope I didn't bore you. I hope it was worth your while. So once again, until next time, bye-bye.